Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Foot Traffic. Today we are talking LinkedIn. I keep telling you I am going to focus more and more time on LinkedIn, and I have. And I also tell you that I love to share, instead of me just messaging some friends and asking to pick their brain, I always want to publicly pick their brain for you so you can get the benefit of it too. So today I've invited John Nemo on to today's call. He is a best-selling LinkedIn author and trainer who's been featured in LinkedIn's official marketing blog, Social Media Examiner, Entrepreneur on Fire, Inc. Magazine, Huffington Post, Business Insider, lots and lots of places. Not only that, but what's really cool is John has personally rewritten the LinkedIn profiles of Chris Brogan, John Lee Dumas, Mari Smith, Dan Miller, Ray Edwards, Tom Ziegler, which is the son of Zig Ziglar. Like, you guys, he can name drop. He didn't in the episode, but I needed to name drop for you because he knows his stuff. Like, people are, coming to him, asking him for help with LinkedIn. I am going to keep shoving down your throat that because I'm doing it myself, need to get more active on LinkedIn if you haven't already. Okay. You're going to love John. He's so fun. This was a great conversation. I've done LinkedIn interviews before, but we talked about different things that we didn't cover last time. So you are going to love this. All right, get ready. Enjoy. Welcome back to another episode of Foot Traffic. I am so excited that I have John Nemo here with us today. We're talking LinkedIn, which, John, I haven't even begun to tell you this yet, but I am getting very excited about LinkedIn. And when I saw all of the cool stuff that you have going on, I knew we had to have you on the show. So I'm just so excited to have you here today. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Stacy. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So why don't you, I know I introduced you in the beginning, but I would love for you to kind of fill us in a little bit, your background, just your entrepreneurial journey, and then we'll jump right into today's episode.
Wonderful. Well, I'll go all the way back to the fabulous year of 1975 when I was born. Just kidding. Well, I'll start there, but
Okay.
very short, condensed version of my whole life. Grew up as the son of two English teachers. Love storytelling. I grew up in a home lined floor to ceiling with books, and so what I ended up doing for a career was journalism, storytelling for the Associated Press and newspapers. Transitioned into public relations, and then social media for different trade
Yeah.
associations. And the entrepreneurial itch, I finally scratched it in 2012. And this is where LinkedIn comes into the story as well.
Okay.
Basically, in 2012, I have a safe six-figure day job at a trade association. I'm not going anywhere. Got it kind of made, but I really wanted to be out on my own. And I had
Okay.
three young boys home at the time. My wife was home taking care of them. So in a move that I recommend no one does, how's that? I just threw all caution to the wind. I
Yeah.
quit this safe six-figure day job. I had one client, I had enough money for 30 days, and I had to make it work. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't have a backup plan. I burnt the ships, And so what I did was I quickly understood there was an opportunity with LinkedIn, even all the way back in 2012,
Yeah.
to quickly find and engage people and turn that into a book of business. And so where that's led me since 2012, opening a marketing agency, and now really what I focus on is showing other people, other business owners, how to use LinkedIn the same way that I do to find and engage and sell to your ideal clients without being sleazy or spammy or pushy or all those things we all hate.
Yeah. And now, so you've been on LinkedIn a while, and LinkedIn is very different now than it used to be. Like, what have you seen? How have you seen it transition now into 2020?
Yeah, great question. It's really changed quite a bit from the early days. And
Okay.
the biggest thing is that LinkedIn, for whatever reason, cannot outgrow its reputation.
I
So
know it
it,
really
it,
can't.
it's still really thought of as kind of this boring, bland,
Hmm.
sleepy job seeker network,
Yeah.
right? Like, this is where you go if you need a job or need to hire an employee. And it's in reality, it's now become this one-stop shop for professionals worldwide to get industry news, to read influencers,
Yeah.
to, yes, find jobs, find employees, but they have a freelance marketplace for vendors. They have, all kinds of different content options and all these different things, sales. And it's really, you have to think of LinkedIn this way. The lay of the land right now is you've got 700 million people on this platform, 200 different countries and territories, two new members join every second. And everyone there on LinkedIn is really in business mode. They're
Yeah.
looking for a job. They're looking for news. They're looking for tips. They're looking to, network. They're looking to sell, whatever.
Right.
And the real secret to this platform today is to treat it like the world's largest coffee shop, that you're going to go in, you're going to find your ideal person that you want to meet and talk to and network with. And then you can scale that very quickly one-on-one, which that approach for me hasn't changed. It's just way easier now with all the, additions LinkedIn has brought in.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. And I do think we say it's not outgrowing its reputation, but I do see now more than ever, everybody saying you've got to get on LinkedIn. So it's getting there, right? And I think too, when you say, you're right, like they're there with a business intent, they are there to further their career. That's exciting for a lot of us in a space where we want to be in front of those people, not just people mindlessly scrolling Instagram, shopping on Amazon, like getting sidetracked on those ads. So I think that's really exciting for a lot of my listeners right now.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Stacey, because here's the thing. No one's going on LinkedIn to watch cat videos or, see which neighbor is saying #blessed, life is perfect, killing it with COVID. Look at me, perfect mom. I get enough of that on Facebook. Sorry, that's a side rant. People are on LinkedIn, though. They're looking to solve problems. They're looking to solve professional problems. You and I now have this enormous opportunity to get in front of people who are already on that platform in work mode. And the way that this works, to really understand the secret sauce, is you have an ability with LinkedIn to immediately find the exact decision maker you need to talk to. So it's not like some of the other networks where you're throwing out content and hoping people find you. I can say, I want to market to dance studio owners. I can literally create a list on LinkedIn in 30 seconds using filters to say, I want dance studio owners who live in Atlanta, Georgia, who went to Georgia Tech and have been in business at least 10 years and have this many employees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can get that hyper niched with leads.
I want to hang up with you right now and go message them.
Right. Because now think about, exactly who you're talking to.
Yeah.
LinkedIn has done all the background work for you because they went big brother on all of us and have every piece of data indexed and searchable.
Yeah.
So you make these ready-made lists of your exact ideal prospects. Now you can go to dance studio owners and say, hey, how's life in Atlanta? I see you went to Georgia Tech. Do you still follow the Yellow Jackets? Did you dance for their dance line? Whatever it is, right? Like, you can break the ice, practice some professional courtship, build some rapport, talking about their favorite subject in the world, which is them, right?
Yeah.
I built my whole business off of one sentence. And the one sentence is from a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And he wrote it in 1936. And the one sentence that I use on LinkedIn every day, built my whole business around, was, your ideal clients and customers and prospects, they do not care about you.
Mm-hmm.
They care about themselves morning, noon, and after supper. And so once you understand this approach on LinkedIn, that you can find your exact ideal decision maker, whether it's an investor, a partner, a customer, a referral source, right? Whatever it might be, now you have all this ammunition as well. You know the person's whole life story, where they live, where they went to school, that gives you this opportunity to really be successful on LinkedIn with one-on-one kind of personal engagement.
Mm-hmm.
All the money on LinkedIn is really in the mailbox. It's in what you and I are doing right now, a one-to-one conversation, just like you do in a coffee shop. And that's why I always call LinkedIn, and the strategy I use, the world's largest coffee shop. You wouldn't run into a coffee shop and say, hey, everyone, I know nobody here knows me, but I've got a great deal right now on dance lessons.
Right.
I'd love everyone to please come forward in an orderly fashion and sign up. I have my Stripe credit card holder ready. You wouldn't do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why do we do that online? Why do we connect with someone and immediately spam them? You'd say, hey, is anybody here a dance mom? Blah, blah, blah. You'd start talking to people. And that's really what we're getting into with LinkedIn.
Yeah, I love it. So, okay, let's talk about, people maybe thinking, all right, I want to get on there. I'm going to go open my account or restart engaging it, right? Maybe it's been there for a few years. I assume one of the things they're first going to do is the profile. Do you see some profile hacks, mistakes, anything that we should be aware of?
Yeah, I
And you've
want to share.
actually, I should stop. You've written for some really big names, actually written their profiles and things like that. So I really want people to hear, like, people are hiring you to help them craft their profile. So definitely listen up.
Yeah, yeah. And basically, and I could name drop and pick all those names up off the floor later if you want, but you can put in the intro, whatever. But the reality is, and here's a new statistic I just made up on the spot, 99.7% of LinkedIn profiles are set up incorrectly. And
Yeah.
here's what I mean by this, all kidding aside. Most LinkedIn profiles, and I suspect most of the people listening or watching right now, your profile is set up like a resume.
Mm.
It's written in the third person. It's all about you. It lists your jobs. Your headline talks about your job title and your company name. And again, going back to that Dale Carnegie quote, the big problem with those types of LinkedIn profiles is nobody cares. Like, no one cares what your background is. No one cares what accolades and awards you have. No one cares how cool your company is. What they care about is solving their own problems. And so let's take this into a practical phase now. And what I talk about when I teach people how to write a client attracting LinkedIn profile is not having the resume, but flipping that around and making it what I call client facing. And here's what this looks like. So for example, on your LinkedIn profile, you have your face, your photo, you have your LinkedIn headline right underneath that. And
Mm-hmm.
most people, their LinkedIn headline has their job title, company name, or it might be really aspirational, like my why, again, nobody cares. So instead you want to be very practical. The two things you want to put in your LinkedIn headline right under your name and photo are the audience you serve and the service you provide.
Okay.
And here's a couple examples of that. So when I started my business in 2012 with one client, enough money for 30 days, the only client I had was a debt collector. I had worked in a trade association doing PR for debt collection agencies. So that was the one guy I plucked away to start my own business. So what I did on LinkedIn was I had my headline that said John Nemo, and it, instead of saying CEO Nemo Media Group, which was me in a wobbly folding card table, right? Like, whoop-de-doo, nobody cares. It said John Nemo, marketing services for debt collectors. So within 2 seconds, if you're a debt collector on LinkedIn, oh, this guy's all about me, and here's the service he provides.
Okay.
So let's say you do search engine optimization. Pick a niche audience or two and say SEO for dentists and hospitals, right? Or business coaching for dance studio owners or something like that, right? And once people see that, within 2 seconds, they know what's in it for them if they connect with you. Now, I'll take one more step into this client-facing profile. And I have a whole free template I give away. We can link to that later.
Cool. Okay, great.
Yeah, but basically, so you start with your headline, the first sentence of your profile under about. Again, most people started talking about themselves, written in the third person like they're a pro athlete, all this stuff. And instead, use this one sentence. This one sentence alone will really help. And it's what I do, colon. So what I do, colon. And then you say, I help, and you insert the name of your target audience. I help this audience get, then you put in the benefits that they want. I help this audience get these benefits they want by providing my product or service. So let's say, for example, you're a business coach who helps dance studio owners, okay? And that's your focus. So your headline says, business coaching for dance studio owners. First sentence of your LinkedIn profile would say, what I do. I help Atlanta-based, we can get really hyper niche, Atlanta-based dance studio owners increase revenue, get more students, and improve their brand around the region by providing industry-specific, business coaching for dance studio owners. What makes me unique? These are the kind of phrases you want to use. Okay. What makes me unique, colon, as someone who owns and operates and built 2 dance studios from the ground up, I know exactly what it takes to be successful. I know all the ins and outs. Like, again, you just kind of share your story, but in a way that's all about them.
Right.
The benefits to you are this, this, and this. And so you can put in testimonials, what others say, what makes me unique. And that's really what now becomes this client-facing profile. And here's the real secret, a couple of quick points. With LinkedIn, the riches are in the niches. You cannot be everything to everyone. If you just say on there, I'm a business coach, then that just is too broad. You'll be nothing to no one. I want to know, as a dance studio owner, I want someone who's walked in my shoes, who knows my world, who knows my industry. So that's what I'm going to look for when people want to connect.
Okay.
And the reality is coaching's coaching, marketing's marketing, right? We can do this for anyone.
Right.
But the secret I discovered on LinkedIn with the debt collectors was the riches are in the niches. And so niche yourself into 2 or 3 audiences where you've had a ton of success.
Yeah.
And really the other big secret to this is 99% of the leads you get out of LinkedIn are you reaching out to someone. You're going to get very few inbound leads where someone randomly sorted through 700 million profiles and stumbled into your world.
Yeah.
It's much more you reach out, invite that dance studio owner to connect. They look at your profile and are like, wow, you're all about me. I see how you can help me. Yes, I want to learn more. Start the conversation. And that's really how simple this can be.
So, and I know, so you're big on that, like really messaging, reaching out. For somebody getting started, like what is a great goal for them to hit daily or weekly when it comes to messaging and connecting?
Yeah, once you get your profile set up and have it client facing, I would encourage you, whether you want to do it manually, whatever, have a virtual assistant, build a search of, let's say, your top 100 prospects,
Okay.
the 100 people, exact ideal decision makers that you want to get in front of. And I would encourage you to reach out to 10 of them every day. Just try to do 10 invites a day. And what's really nice about LinkedIn is you can scale all this because, again, if I use LinkedIn search filters, I can create a list of 100 dance studio owners who live in Atlanta who went to Georgia Tech. So I immediately have 2 or 3 icebreakers I can just copy and paste into my invite and just change the first name. But it's still personal. It's just based off of knowing they're all in one location. So you can do that. I would really encourage you, where all the money is on LinkedIn is in the mailbox. It's in one-on-one personal messaging. So when you do get a new connection on LinkedIn and it's someone that looks like your ideal prospect, what you can do instead of hitting them over the head with a sales pitch is ask them some questions, right? Break the ice a little bit. And you can also do a bunch of, personalizing inside of LinkedIn messages. So what I mean by this is if you have the LinkedIn mobile app, you can actually, with one-on-one messaging, send a little video selfies to the other person or send a little audio, voice memo to the other person. You can do animated GIFs. You can do emojis. So it's very much like FaceTime or, texting or instant messaging.
Yeah.
Again, the idea, and LinkedIn's trying to teach us this, be conversational. So if I connected with you and you're a dance studio owner in Atlanta and I coach dance studio owners, I could be in my studio at home and just hold up my phone after we connected and in the LinkedIn messaging app, shoot a video for 20 seconds that says, hey, Teresa, it's John here. Just wanted to show you. You can see in the background, I got the studio all ready to go for another day.
Yeah.
Hope things are great in Atlanta. Excited to hear about your studio and how things are going. Let me know if I can ever help you, give you any advice. Be well, whatever, and hit send. That's kind of, think about how much more trust that builds.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing you, hearing you, looking you in the eye, seeing your location. That's the kind of depth that really works well. Again, people aren't going to instantly buy from you if you just connect and send a script.
Right.
And that's the work we need to put in.
Yeah. So the profile is important to get that. You said, I love that you said client facing profile, do that first. What about the content you're putting out? What should be everyone's goals into what they're putting on their newsfeed? How often? And then what should they get started with before they start to reach out and message? Because people do come back and look and scroll and see what's going on.
Yeah. Well, the great news that I found is you don't need to do a ton of content.
Okay.
So people are always like, well, how many videos do I have to publish every day? And how many articles and how many status updates? And really what happens on LinkedIn, again, all the money's in the mailbox. It's in one-on-one messaging. So what I suggest is create 1 or 2 really valuable, great pieces of content. Could be an ebook, could be a case study, could be a webinar, could be a podcast episode, could be a video you made, a training series. Create a couple of really good pieces of content for a niche audience that does a couple key things. Demonstrates your expertise, so actually shows them how to solve a problem. Don't just claim authority, right? Like I can sit here and go, I'm the LinkedIn guru. Woohoo! Like show me, right? Yeah. Show me you can actually help me. So demonstrate some expertise in that content and then make it all about them and how while they consume the content, they get to know, like, and trust you because you're sharing your story in it. So just have 1 or 2 good pieces of content. And my model is I don't worry about publishing a bunch of LinkedIn status updates, articles, whatever. I ignore all that.
Which is exciting for many of us to hear. So
yeah, you don't need to. All you need to do on LinkedIn is client-facing profile, run a search, invite those prospects to connect. And as they connect, send one-on-one personal replies based off what you can see on their profile, where they live, where they went to school, where they work. Jazz it up with a little selfie video or a voice memo. Then you pivot to this script that I use once you have a piece of content. And again, the number one goal with LinkedIn is to get them off of LinkedIn as quickly as possible and onto your email list, phone call, whatever it is. So here's what I do. Once I've broken the ice, practiced some professional courtship, we're bantering, whatever it might be. Now I have a very specific script. And I say to the person, hey, hope you're doing well. Curious, are you interested in blank? And blank is some sort of benefit they might want or a topic. Are you interested in blank? And then part two is you offer the free content. You say, the reason I ask is I've got a great free fill in the blank. So a free on-demand webinar, video training, ebook on that topic. And then you ask permission. That's part three. You don't just assume they want a link. You say, if you like, just reply yes or thumbs up emoji, and I can send you a link to whatever it is. And then part four, super important, you take the pressure off and you say, if you're not interested, no worries at all. So continuing our dance studio theme, you could say, hey, just curious, are you looking for ways to get more students into your dance studio? The reason I ask is I actually put together a free on-demand webinar recently sharing some of my favorites on how to make that happen. If you like, just reply yes or thumbs up and I can sign you up for the webinar. If not, no worries at all. Keep dancing, whatever, but that way you can immediately qualify people.
Yeah, I love that you're making them say, do you want the link? Because if you just send the link, you have no idea if they actually were interested or not. And now you get to know.
Yeah. And then, so people, so who's worth following up with. And then also people don't get mad at you because do you like getting links to random stuff you didn't ask for?
Never.
No, I don't want to read your article. Sorry, I'm not interested in real estate right now. Just not for me. Right? Like I have no desire. So, and people, it's that human psychology of, I feel honored and flattered and feel appreciated and important that you're asking me if I want this. Because I want to feel some control of this relationship as opposed to I'm just hammering people with links assuming they want to watch it. And what happens is then you're only spending time on qualified prospects because you're only needing to circle back to the people who raise their hand on LinkedIn and go, yes, I would like that, or I would like a free audit, or I would like to learn more. And that's where then you really move quickly into your sales process.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think some people are going to hear this and think, I'd rather just run Facebook ads or I'd rather just mass, do this. But I think you're right. Like putting this time and attention into it, you're going to get out of it what you put into it when it comes to LinkedIn for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the guy, I've spent 5 figures on Facebook ads and got nothing. Like, believe me, if I could just buy attention, I would.
Yeah.
I would love to, right? But what I've done is, the thing with LinkedIn is you can scale it. What I always tell people is you don't have to go anywhere. You're sitting at your laptop. You're only spending time engaging with your exact ideal decision maker, prospect, investor, whoever. How is that not time well spent for you? How is it not time well spent for you to talk to the exact person you want to sell something to? Also, you can scale it with templates and scripts and know that all these people live in Georgia, went to Georgia Tech and own a dance studio. I don't have to write a personal message to each one. I can just insert some speakers, paste in the message offering the free whatever, and then only reply, say yes, paste in a link to the webinar. So you can scale it very quickly. You can do this, in an hour a day and make massive headway. So it's not something where people feel that. And it just depends too on what works for your sales. If you're selling a $3 widget, Facebook ads probably work fine. But if you're selling something that's high trust, like coaching, consulting, a big investment, wealth management, whatever it might be, or you're trying to sell a car, it's not as easy as just, I'm going to look at your ad without knowing you and give you my time and money and attention. You have to, we're human. We want to be courted a little bit. I want to feel appreciated and feel like you actually care about me and know me. And I want to buy from people I know, like, and trust. And LinkedIn is the single best way I found to build and scale that know, like, and trust very rapidly so that you can do it with all these tools. In 2012, it was way harder. I couldn't do little video selfies. I couldn't do GIFs. Now I just fire away and immediately pivot people into warm phone calls, warm emails, warm webinars, because we've had some context. Now we can have a different conversation, and it really moves things quickly.
Do you recommend that people jump into the paid option of LinkedIn or free? What everything we've talked about so far, do they need to be in the paid version?
Yeah, so I do. I don't have any stock in LinkedIn. I wish I would have bought it because I'm always like promoting all their stuff. But it is worth having a paid LinkedIn like Sales Navigator level account.
Yeah.
And here's why. LinkedIn basically, the more that you pay LinkedIn as a member, the more data you get on your prospects.
Okay.
So in order to, if you want to build a hyper filtered list of dance moms in Atlanta who own their own studio and went to Georgia Tech and have at least 5 employees, you got to have Sales Navigator for that.
Okay.
So yes, I do recommend you get a paid plan, just because, again, with the paid plans, you get way more data, way more insights, icebreakers. It just makes your job a lot easier.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's worth it. The time that you'd have to spend to figure this out or
Correct.
manually do it. Okay, love that. And then, okay, I'm very interested in this. So some of the questions that you had sent over, why does Vanilla Ice hold the secret? I have to ask this because I'm like, is Vanilla Ice legit on LinkedIn? Please fill me in on that.
You need to take heed, because I am a lyrical poet, and Vanilla Ice is on the scene, just in case you didn't know it. No, I like to have a lot of fun with my trainings and with teaching people about LinkedIn. And I am a unabashed child of the 80s and early 90s. And Vanilla Ice, there's a great line in Ice Ice Baby, which everyone knows the song, where he says, if you got a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Now check out the moves when my DJ revolves it. The whole thing's about solving problems.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can come to people on LinkedIn with that client-facing profile, with that script that says, do you have this challenge? Do you have this problem? Are you interested in this benefit? I can solve it. I have some free advice, whatever. That's the magic, right? That's where it really happens. And the other big thing that this kind of dovetails into is, how do you stand out from the crowd? How do you differentiate yourself on LinkedIn from the other, 700 million members, the other coaches, consultants, business owners, brick and mortar, whatever? It's you. Your unique sense of humor, your personality, your story, your style of communication. The more you can bring your authentic self through these online tools, the more you'll attract people that want to work with you. I guarantee you, I'm the only LinkedIn trainer on earth that uses Vanilla Ice. Okay. And no one in their right mind would be quoting Vanilla Ice teaching LinkedIn. But that's my deal. I'm a goofball. I'm just a crazy guy. And everything's commoditized now, Stacey. So you can pick any LinkedIn trainer you want. You know what I mean? And we have different content and different approaches, but you want to pick someone you like. And so if people like goofiness, that's who I attract. They like to have fun, and it's a boring topic. So, it makes it, but if you're someone that's very buttoned up and you need to wear a suit and tie to log into your computer, I'm the wrong guy. I want to repel you. Because if you don't love Vanilla Ice and his lyrical poetry, forget it. We're not a match.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So, we talked about a template that you have, like a free offer they can go to. Would you mind sharing that? I'd love to throw it in the show notes for them.
Yeah, there's a couple places. So I will give away my entire book for free. It's called LinkedIn Riches. So if you just go to LinkedIn, the word LinkedIn Riches, RICHES.com, LinkedInRiches.com, you get my entire book for free. And then if you want the profile template, just go to linkedinriches.com/summary. And that'll give you this whole downloadable fill in the blank template. My big thing, I practice what I preach. I just give away tons of free content, trainings, videos, templates, because I know I've got to demonstrate it. I've got to prove that this stuff works in order to, have people trust me enough. Yeah. And that's the big thing, is use that content to really buy people's time and attention to trust you as the go-to source in any business. And it really, now more than ever, how do you differentiate yourself from other competitors? How are you not viewed as a commodity? What's your personality, your style, but also your content, your educational value, your ability to help people. And that's definitely the way that I see working.
Yeah, I love it. John, thank you so much. This has been amazing. I appreciate your time. Where can they find you, connect with you? Obviously, LinkedIn. Any other platforms or places you want them to go check you out?
Thank you. Yeah, you can find Nemo on LinkedIn. See what I did there? That dumb movie, Stacey. But now everyone knows my last name. Finding Nemo. So
Oh,
John Nemo on LinkedIn. LinkedInriches.com is where I've got all my best stuff, the free
okay.
books, templates. You can contact me there. Those are the two places to check me out.
Okay, amazing. You have been incredible. I hope people are going, okay, I've got to learn more about LinkedIn. I've got to get on. You've given them a great foundation and a great place to start. So, you guys, we just keep hearing over and over and over from all these gurus. Time to get on LinkedIn, time to transition. So, John, this has been so helpful today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.